Moving on to Egypt, Egypt's Prosecutor General Hisham Barakat has been killed in a bomb attack in the capital, Cairo. The blast hit the prosecutor's convoy near Military Academy in Heliopolis district. Barakat was taken to a hospital but later died of his wounds. A civilian and 5 members of the security forces were also injured in the bombing. No one has claimed responsibility, but the ISIL-affiliated groups in Egypt have previously threatened to launch attacks on the judiciary following the hanging of a number of militants. Sharif Al-Touni is a journalist and political commentator who joins us from Egypt's capital, Cairo. Sharif Al-Touni, so what are we looking at here? We're looking at a country that's been somewhat unstable, violence has plagued it, but this is surely a blow to Sisi.
Definitely, it comes at a very critical timing where the Egyptians were expecting tomorrow the 2nd anniversary of the 30th of June. Now, all of the eyes were actually looking at the achievements and what happened across the full year, where we had a lot of economical challenges and looking at the political instability, looking at a Suez Canal project which is supposed to be having a return of investment, while this is not actually the case, but also looking at a lot of aspects. This comes with the eyes looking away towards the assassination of the Egyptian prosecutor, and hence there are a lot of calls now on the social media on how to support the funeral and how to be calling for implementing the death sentences of whoever is opposing the government. So the situation has moved from where there has been a lot of concerns against the government and their achievements across the past year towards the assassination, the terrorist attacks. Looking at the full year, there has been a lot of assassinations and terrorist attacks in Egypt, looking at soldiers and officers in Sinai, but also looking at several attempts that happened previously. One of them known is the former trial or attempt for assassination for the former Interior Minister, Mohammed Gamal. This is the first actually successful assassination for a government official or a state official, and definitely a government figure, supposed to be for a lot an architect also of the crackdown on the 30th of June, was appointed by the former president, the interim president Adli Mansour. So now, as I mentioned, the eyes moved from the concerns on the achievements and what happened across this year towards the assassination and terrorist attacks and the blame back again towards the Muslim Brotherhood and the supporters.
So the government line at this point, aside from denouncing it, is, do you think that they're going to continue with the way that they have clamped down, with the way that they have obviously put into prison practically all major Muslim Brotherhood figures, given them death sentences? Because at this point, economically speaking, Egypt is suffering. That summit that you talked about, that's surely going to get a hit. It was supposed to attract a lot of investment. So there's going to be a question mark as to how Sisi is going to continue. Do you think the hard line is going to continue from his government?
So looking other than the infrastructure projects and the roads that's happening in Egypt, Egypt has been suffering economically on all fronts. So also looking at the political aspect, we don't yet have a parliament in place. It has been 2 years. There is no parliament. There is no political participation. The democratic level is going down. So definitely your question, are they going to be continuing? Yes, the answer is probably yes, because it has been the case for the past 2 years. It has been the same style and form where political activists are deprived from saying what they want to say against the government. Opposition is actually, and that was part of the Egyptian prosecutor. He was involved in a number of prosecutions that involved arresting thousands of opposition to the government. So I guess this is going to be continuing to be the trend. It is an alarming fact, but again, looking at what's happening in Egypt in terms of the calls, instead of trying to find out who did the terrorist attacks, it moves back to the Muslim Brotherhood and calling for the implementation and the execution of the death sentences towards the opposition.
Thank you very much for that. Sharif Al-Touni, journalist and political commentator there from Cairo.